Welcome to the channel, Pain in the Patoot here with another tips video, and this one is going to be factory. So I'll go over what the factory map is for newer players and give you some of my thoughts on it. All right, so let's get started. Started with the size. The factory map is the smallest. It's contained within one single building. You don't go outside. So because it's the smallest map, you can see here that the run times of your raids are smaller. Day is only 20 minutes, night is 25 minutes. So that can impact what you can accomplish on this map. Another thing about this map is there's two main areas. One is the open floor itself of the factory, and then an office section. Both of those areas have what I would consider three levels to them. In the open factory area, there's an underground section, the ground floor, and then you can play up in the girders above and shoot down on players. So keep that in mind that you can get sniped from above. In the office area, there's the ground floor, a second floor, locker room, I guess you could call it. There's lots of lockers in there. It looks like there's more showers, so maybe that's the change room for the factory. And then the top floor has a couple of offices, and those offices typically have the tasks that you need to do on this map. Most of them. It's not all of them because there are some other tasks spread around the map. Um, so that is basically a description of the map. Some of the other important elements of this map, it has, because it's a small map, it has, as you can see here, the smallest length of your raids, 20 minutes for in the daytime, 25 at night. This map, you can run night raids, and in fact, there is one task that you have to complete at night. It's pretty well lit. There are some dark sections in it. You can wear NVTs, but I find NVTs, like if you go over into the office section, you have to turn them off. They're too bright. So in most cases, if you're going to run here at night or you're doing that one task that has to be done at night, put a flashlight on your gun because that will help you get from the dark areas. There are a couple of totally pitch black areas on this map, but the flashlight will get you to the areas where there's reasonably good lighting. Okay. On this map, you get Scavs and Tequila. Tequila's the boss. He's a big, chunky guy with a sledgehammer, and he kills everybody with a sledgehammer. He does have a gun, but rare to see him actually shoot anybody. At night, you can also get the addition of the cultists. So if you don't know what the cultists is, they're a sect. They're hard to kill. The unique thing about them is they have goofy weapons. Like they have normal weapons, but really strange mods to them. And they typically have a poisoned knife on them. So if they get close enough, they will stab you with poison. And you need specific stims to actually heal yourself. So once you get stabbed with the poison knife, you are pretty much going to die. So you have to immediately try to extract because most time people don't carry that stim. I think there's if you happen to have the antibiotic pills with you, they can lengthen your time, but you need to get out, and it's difficult even once you're out of the raid to heal it. There is some requirements there, so it's an interesting bit added to the map. Um, so the other thing is the number of players on this map is controlled. Every map in Tarkov has a limit for how many PMCs or players can be on the map, and factory, because it's a small map, has the smallest number, and that is kind of important because you can see here it's 4 to 6 players on the map. So it's important because that limits squads. You typically on this map, and I say typically because there's always the exception, you typically don't get 6-man squads, 5-man squads, 4-man squads. 3 is you can come into threes. Really what you usually get is duos, 2 people, maybe 3 people. Why? Because there isn't enough loot on this map to make it worthwhile for a 4-man squad to go in. So unless they go in to, I have seen, and I've actually done it myself, gone in as a 4-man just to complete one of the tasks that we could never seem to complete. So we went in as a 4-man, and that was basically each one of us had to do that task. So we were able to give each other company, and because there was or cover, and because there was 4 of us, that meant there was only 2 players in the game, so we could dominate players if they came at us, and then scavs you can always handle. as a four-man. So that's the important thing. You don't get hardly any squads of any size playing on this map. The reason you don't get squads on this map is there's no real loot for them. Like in the office area, there's again coats, a safe, some filing cabinets. That's it. There's the normal boxes around, but I don't know of anything exceptionally good except for there's one key which you can actually buy, so it's even irrelevant there. But there's one key on the map that's supposed to spawn here, and I don't know if it still does. Again, maybe there's some changes that I'm not aware of, but the loot here is average, and there's not a lot of it. The scavs themselves don't particularly ever have really good gear on them, so if a four-man comes in, they're going to come out disappointed in the amount of loot because there's only going to be two other players that they can kill to take stuff. So if a four-man comes in, they're after Tequila for a task or his mask or something. And other than that, there isn't really anything worthwhile for a four-man to do on it. So if they come in, they're splitting a very small pool of loot between four players. And that is why you don't get big squads coming in here. You don't get squads farming unless, again, they are after Tequila. You'd also don't get a lot of player scavs on this map for exactly the same reason. If you come in as a player scav, if you're worried about scav karma at all, you can't attack other scavs. So that means you have to go after players, and you're in a small map, you're a tight environment. Uh, it'll be tough for you to take out even the individual players or the two-mans to do it. So even if you take them out, the best loot you're going to get is off those people. And you're still between 4 or 6 of them on the map, and you're a scav with whatever the scav load is. So you can't even come in and do a farming run on this map because it's so small. There's no way for you to hide. You can, but it's very tough to do the sort of creeping around the corner. You go in interchange, you can go the whole raid and not see another player and get some good gear because of the stashes, because of the boxes, because of all the stuff. Here, the only really reason to loot it would be to get it off players. So being able to kill players or finding their dead bodies and picking up the scraps. So that's the interesting part about the number of players on this map. You don't get squads often. If you get them, they're not very big, two-man maybe. And you don't get a lot of scavs in here. Yeah, there's going to be some in there. There's always the exception, but you don't get a lot. So why do you come to this map? Well, the big reason to come to the factory map is that it is a small location. If you need player kills, and there is, tasks, there's the one sit rep, I think, where you have to get 3 pistol kills. Most people do that on this map because small map, you're getting in a concentrated area, and I'll show you in a second on the map how close the spawns are. You're in a concentrated area, you're virtually guaranteed of running into other players, unless you hide in the corner and wait. But if you get into the game and you're active, you are going to run into other players, so that means you have guaranteed PvP on this map, almost guaranteed. You go on to factory, you get guaranteed PvP. You go on to interchange, you don't necessarily get it. Shoreline, woods, the big maps, you may not ever run into another player unless you would head for the hotspots. So that's why people go into this map. If you need scav kills, and it's not specified to any map, again, small area, you're not running all over. You can go in, try to get some kills, extract, come back in immediately, run it over and over and over again. So that's why people come to this map. And besides the tasks, I almost forgot there, the tasks that you have to do, but it's to get player kills because you concentrated area, lots of players, lots of action. And in scav kills, if it's just general scavs, because it's concentrated area, lots of scavs in that area, you can get kills. You actually, if you're going for scav kills, you actually have to watch out for the players because that is the disadvantage of coming to this map. Okay, so that's more or less it. I think, like I said, day night, nighttime. You can see around this map, except for a couple of exceptions. Always use a flashlight on your gun if you're coming in at night, because there is one task. There is one task you have to do at night. but that is it. The one point of what you need to get is a factory emergency exit key, because there are 4 extracts as players on this map, and 3 of them are behind locked doors. So there's only one that you can get out on without having a key. The pumping station thing, that was tied to a task. I don't remember having to do that this time, or somebody had opened it for me. There's a picture of Tequila. He has this unique helmet. Here's a picture of the cultists. Only at night, and they can be anywhere. I got this, what I'm looking at here is on the Tarkov wiki. You can Google Tarkov wiki, search for factory, and you have this info. And there's some pictures of some of the extracts. But let's move here to the map. So this is a map that you get. It's there's actually 3 maps. This one I like a little bit more because um, it has different symbols on it. So you can see here, that's an extract. This is where tequila can spawn, etc., etc. But I'm going to take out the spawn extractions and take out the spawns or the extractions. Take out I'm going to leave the spawns. Get rid of the bosses, get rid of the miscellaneous, get rid of the loot, and get rid of the loot containers so that it is just the map. And so they have the tunnel section here listed, and this is the factory section. And then you have the locker room on level 2 in the office, and then level 3. So the one thing I wanted to mention about, because we were talking about, or I was talking about PvP, is an example here by looking at the map. These are forklifts here, and the lights are actually lights. So there's one area of the map that is a very common spawn point for players, and look at how close the spawns are together. If you get in this room here, you pretty highly can expect a player down this long hallway and a player over here. So immediately people tend to rush this area, and there's your immediate PMC, PvP gun battle. All right, that's what happens. The rest of the time, usually you get there is a spawn point over here. You'll get some combat here because this guy will come down this hallway into this area. And then the other places, of course, this is the locker area, the office area over here. There's a spawn point here and here, so these people tend to run to the office area. All right, so that is why this map is good for having to kill players, in that you're in a very small area and the spawn points are very tight. So let me back it off here. This is the 3rd floor level, and I'll drag it over here. So you can see up here, this is the office area. There's the safe. Here's the filing cabinets. Jackets are here. You have to kick this door open to get in here, and there's a couple tasks in here, and then there's one task in here that needs a key. But you're kind of limited here. You have to come up these stairs, or you can come up stairs here and then come across a small gangway. Very restricted. You have to watch people at the top of the stairs going to shoot down at you. This is the locker room that's below this level. Not much combat in here, but you can get it in here. I don't find a lot of combat in that area. All right, so let's go back down here. And you can see here's an extraction point. It's behind a locked door here. Sorry, here. You need a key. Here's an extraction point. Locked door to get to it. There is an extraction point down here at the bottom of these stairs. For some reason, it's not showing it. Needs a key to get out. And this is the only one. It's called the shared extraction because you can do it as a PMC or a scav. This is the only one that's open. There will be a task where you have to find these extraction points, so you'll need a key to complete that task because you have to open this door and get over here before it recognizes you've completed. But that's my small guide to the factory. Like I said, this is a good map for player kills because There's a limit to them for one thing, so you don't have to worry about too much about players, but you're almost completely always going to run into players with ease. So when I'm doing these PMCs, I come in, spawn someplace, immediately head for this area here or this area here to try to get the kills. If you don't get the kills in like a couple of minutes, somebody else has killed everybody. So then I immediately extract and then reset and come back in again. That's what I do on this map. Okay, so that is your quick and dirty guide to the factory map.